hello out there, and welcome to the Danny.
And Riana show. This is Danny Pena, Riana's husband.
And this is Riana Manuel Pena, Danny's wife. And Danny, we have an interesting project that we're going to do as a group today. You want to tell us about it?
Yes. So I was browsing TikTok a couple of days ago, and I got to see a new project that just launched from Google. It's called Notebook LM. It's a AI tool where you could upload PDF files. You could also put like your website in there, and it will break down like notes and all this stuff. But the cool thing is, it also creates a podcast, and it talks about whatever that you uploaded or post of like the website. It breaks it down, and it's two people talking. And what I was doing the other day, I was like very curious. I uploaded our deck of about DNR media consulting, and I just wanted to know what they had to say about it. I know we experiment with our LinkedIn page and all that stuff, but this was really cool. So we're gonna react to it, and we're gonna talk about it. Why this is pretty cool and scary at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So anything your thoughts before I play this out? Because you haven't listened to this one.
No, let's just jump right into it, and you'll get my raw reactions.
All right. So we're gonna play the audio. We're gonna react our faces if you watch the video version. But after, we're gonna talk about our thoughts. We're gonna break it down and what we think about this new tool from Google. All right, here it goes.
Ever stumble onto like a power couple's Instagram, and you're just like, man, my life is boring.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I felt checking out DNR Media Consulting.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
These two aren't just, consultants. They're practically gaming royalty.
Yeah, you're right. It's a really smart approach they've taken, though. I mean, nowadays, everybody wants to know the faces behind the brand, right?
Right.
And DNR are definitely putting themselves out there. This whole vibe of community and sharing their passion for gaming, it definitely resonates these days.
Totally. And we're talking Danny Pena and Riana Manuel Pena.
Yes.
Kotaku even called them gaming's power couple, which when you see their history, it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. They've both got these insanely impressive careers, and now they're taking all that experience, all that knowledge, and creating media, offering consulting, content, marketing, event stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like they've done it all.
They've got it covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. They're down to collaborate,
Oh, wow.
which made me think of that Alyssa Mercante quote from Kotaku.
Yeah.
She said, gaming's power couple always show up and show out.
Yeah, that's them.
So it's not just, here are our services.
Yeah.
It's like, we're bringing our network. We're bringing our experience. Let's do this.
Exactly. And it's all done, with a really fun, very confident energy. Like even just their website description, it says, Mom and Dad finding nerd life balance, which I think is amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's like, we're successful, we're passionate, but we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's refreshing.
It is. It's very cool.
But how does all of this apply to the folks listening, right? How does this impact them?
Well, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
Even just this quick look at, DNR's online presence, their website, it gives us a lot of valuable insights. So think about it this way. If you're listening, are you someone who's looking for expertise in the gaming industry?
Okay.
Right?
Makes sense.
Are you intrigued by how successful couples, make collaboration work?
Yeah.
Are you curious about how to build a brand that feels really genuine and authentic?
Those are all really good things to be considering for sure.
Exactly. And I think we've done a good job, in this deep dive of sort of uncovering their background, the services that they provide, how they're presenting themselves to the world, right?
Right.
Which I think is really valuable, for our listeners, because now they can take this information and decide what their next move is. Maybe it's reaching out to DNR. Maybe it's just, I'm going to follow their work now. I'm really interested in seeing what they do. Or maybe it's, I'm going to tuck away some of their branding magic. It's really up to the listener.
So much good stuff to think about. And just a final little thought, little nugget as we wrap up here. DNR are so clearly driven by their love for gaming and this idea of community.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes you wonder, how much does genuine passion really matter in the business world today?
That's such a good question.
Something to ponder as you're navigating your own career, your own path.
Totally.
This was great. Till next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
That was the audio podcast. And so again, I uploaded our PDF file. You could also do the website through there. And it creates a podcast and it creates notes, all this stuff, right? And I think it's a pretty cool tool if, let's say, you sent this to someone that maybe you're trying to work with, or have like networking, and you would like to show them a little bit more about the things that you do. This will be a great way where instead of sending them the PDF, hey, send them the audio. Maybe they could listen to it while they're driving or something like that, and it breaks it down. This is really, really cool, I think. Yeah.
So can you give the name of the tool one more time for folks who are curious about looking it up?
Yeah, so it's called Google Notebook LM. So just look it up, search it, and it will pop up. There you could upload documents, URL, all that stuff. It doesn't pick up images just yet. I think in the future it will. Right now it's all based on like text and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you can upload all kinds of things, and you said that for this podcast you just gave them our
Just
Our-
one.
consulting deck. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Which obviously is not public, so people haven't
No.
seen it. So
They haven't seen it. They haven't seen it at all. But
What-
here's the thing, though, Ree. I have to mention this. You could upload multiple things at the same time, and the podcast now they will have a longer conversation because they have now more stuff to talk about. So
Yeah.
So what I did the other day, I uploaded my document and Gamer Tag Radio website, and also my LinkedIn page. So I did that, and they had a conversation based on that. So
yeah.
there's different things you could do.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into how I think this can be used in a second, but first I just want to react to what we heard because it was really interesting. Like, it's so funny because we're listening to an AI generated podcast about our business deck, which is just like, what world are we in right now? But I love how true it felt because it lets me know, like, and it's good feedback for us as a team that we're saying the things we want to say in our deck, which is great. Like, I didn't hear anything that I didn't believe in, and I feel like I heard everything that we always want people to retain when we're talking about our business, right? Like, besides the fact that it said my name is Manuel Pena, which is always hilarious. They talked about authenticity. They talked about like being passionate and having a love for the gaming community, which we do, right? That's how we met. That's how we've, built this life that we have and that we're really proud of and excited to share with others. And I love that it touched on Alyssa's quote, Alyssa Mercante, shout out to her. Her work in Kotaku is fantastic, and it also called us gaming royalty, which is like, ooh, we didn't say that. Like, thanks for saying that about us, AI podcast. But the part that stood out the most to me is obviously when they're talking about their services or who could work with them. They said that we are really strong in our network and our experience, which has always been what I think we're most proud of and what we try to lead with. Like, of course, we can authentically speak to many different communities. We're both people of color. I'm a woman. Like we touch on a lot of different demographics that maybe aren't as well represented in most gaming consulting companies, but especially like our network and how much experience we have in lots of different areas and realms of the industry. Like, you have been in content creation for over 20 something years and Gamertag Radio is celebrating its 20th anniversary next year, and you've consulted on projects, you worked in production, like you've done events, and similarly I've done events and I've been in the marketing side and I've worked with devs and both big studios and indies, and so like we have a lot of knowledge and experience that we can bring to our partners, but also the network. I am so excited that comes through. Like, one of the things that we heard from our friend Andy Lenique at TwitchCon when we ran down there for just one day is that, like, we were standing in a group of people. Like, there was content creators, there was people who work in dev, people who work in marketing, and we were all just chatting, because that's what happens at cons. Sitting there with Baby, I think she was being held by someone else at the moment. But it was funny because we're standing in this group of people, lots of people who do lots of cool things. And Andy said, if I think of anybody in this group who knows everyone, it's you two. And he pointed at us.
Yep.
And I was like, what a compliment coming from somebody who is incredibly well connected and extremely experienced. He's worked at every big company you can think of and has made a lot of moves, right? And for somebody like that to recognize how well positioned we are, just again, lets me know we're doing the right thing. We've made the right choices. We're in the right spot because it can get a little scary when you see what's going on around the industry. It's easy to doubt whether we're moving the way we need to move, but this gives me a lot more confidence and reassurance that like yes, we're saying the right things, we're talking to the right people, we're in the right place, and I really love that. I also
Yeah.
think it's really sweet that the AI, I guess the AI hosts said like how important is the passion and the heart when it comes to business. And I know the answer for me is it is the most important thing because like we can do anything for money, but what do we do for love? And when we've been able to marry the two of those things, I think is why we are both so excited about the work that we do. So that was my main takeaways from what they said. It was really cool.
You know what? I know we worked on the deck and the website together, and the things that we put in there on both on the document and the website, there were things that we felt like, okay, I hope people read this part because this is like very important. And
Yeah.
the AI picked it up.
Yeah.
It picked it up right. I was like, whoa, this is crazy because that was the thing that we were thinking. Like we were like, okay, what is this going to stand out that's going to help us to network and work with other clients? You know, let's put this, let's put that, and everything of course is real. It's not like fake or anything like that. But it's crazy how the things that we thought about, the AI picked it up. And here's the thing, I'm not against AI. I'm not against AI if it's used the right way. If it's something where if it's something like if like we use this as a tool that's going to help us like you know things like this like from Google, or a tool where it's going to help us to maybe clean up the audio, you know, like certain things when we do record a podcast here, you know, that type of thing. When we use that, I think that's very helpful. But when I see AI using companies using AI for things that is gonna not hire people, they're probably gonna lay off people because they're depending on that. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm not really supporting this at all. You get what I'm saying? So, do you feel the same way about AI?
I do. And I think it's important when we're talking about these things is like what type of AI are we referring to? Like
Sure.
obviously AI exists in many different things in many different realms and we've used a lot of it for almost a decade or more. Google Maps, for instance, is AI. But there is a really good point that you just made that I dislike when AI is used in place of a person who could have or should have done that work. There are a lot of shortcuts and things that we use with AI that help us because we don't have the time or money to hire people to help us with it. I realize that that sometimes does kind of bleed into the realm of taking away work from people, but like we're not going to hire a copy editor, for instance, for what we do with our YouTube video descriptions and our titles, right? So we use sometimes we use what is it, the Meta AI in WhatsApp in order to shorten a description into a title for us because it's a shortcut. Like you're saying, it's something that helps us be more productive and do what we need to do, where we would not have given that work to a person. We would have just done it ourselves a little less efficiently.
Yeah, and
but-
also there's AI tools that we're using now with Riverside, like where
Yes.
it helps us to do like timestamps or maybe come up with the name of the title or the segment or maybe the audio. Maybe there's a lot of ums and a lot of pauses that we feel like, okay, how can we edit it down? I just don't have the time. We use a program like this and it will fix the audio as much as it can. It's not always perfect, but close enough. You get what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. And let's say we blow up and we get all this money and we're really popular and we want to make a really good product. We then use a real person, a real video editor and an audio engineer to do that work. But we don't have that resource right now, right? So those are times when I think AI can be really useful for people who have good ideas, good energy, good contribution to the world, and they want to put it out there in a polished way, but they don't have those additional resources, like I said. When it's used nefariously and to replace whole people or whole industries, I don't love that. I understand there's sometimes when it's safer or it's more useful or it gives a different job to a person. And whenever possible, I want to retain the efficacy of a human being and what a person brings to something, right? Because there's a certain level of art and expertise that AI will never be able to achieve. A person will probably always be a better solution if you have the resources, the time, or the money, which we don't,
Yep.
because
Oh, I
we have a
agree.
baby and we have jobs. So
Yep.
yeah, that's where I stand with AI and how it's used, at least in the context that we're talking about. Obviously, there are lots of other things that AI is used for. We don't, we can't cover all of it in this show, but when it's something like this, giving you feedback about your online presence or telling you how well you represented your business in your consulting deck, or letting you know if your website is coming across the way you want it to. I think it's a really interesting tool, and I'm excited about it. I think this is, if we're getting into how this could be used, in particular the Google LM product, I think this is a great tool for indie developers who want to make sure that their trailers are hitting the right notes, or they want to make sure their website is attracting the right kind of people to get excited about their upcoming titles. I think it's really great for potential HR, for people to make sure that their job listings are accurate and really pulling at the right applicants, because I know the world of HR is very heavily dependent on AI tools right now, and this is one that could maybe help cut down the amount of poor fit applicants that you get. I know that's a woe that a lot of HR leadership has right now. Yeah, there's like so many different ways this could be used, and
Definitely.
it's definitely a product that I would like to recommend to some people that I know are working on projects but don't have a great way to get good feedback on it.
I think this is great for, like, I know you mentioned about resumes, but also maybe your LinkedIn page. So like I know I have like tons of different audios because I was just testing it out. So like I put up my LinkedIn profile in there, and there's stuff that I don't remember that I posted because it's been so long, right? Because I've been using LinkedIn very very long time. So they broke down where the days of early podcasting, me going to the stores, passing out flyers, because I remember I posted that on LinkedIn. I'm like, whoa, I totally forgot about it. And they broke it down. And I know
Yeah.
recently we were driving, I think it was from San Diego, because we were at visiting
Yeah,
and
coming
checking
back
out
from
TwitchCon.
TwitchCon.
Yeah. And I put up your your LinkedIn profile, and there was things that surprised you when you listened to it, right? What were the
Yeah,
things that surprised you?
yeah. I think, what did I enter? I entered my LinkedIn. I entered the website dannyandrihanna.com, and there was one other thing I can't remember. Maybe my Twitter or something. Like there was another social media page that I added, and it was pulling up a lot of interesting stuff. There was one thing I got kind of wrong, but other than that, it said I co-founded a diversity, equity, and inclusion group at a dev studio. It wasn't. It was at a marketing firm, but I did co-found it. Like it still gave me the right information about it, and it's so cool to hear about yourself. Like everybody, like whether you want to admit it or not, you like hearing about yourself. But it's also really validating when it's stuff that you think is right or accurate. And yeah, I love to know that I'm representing myself the way I want to, and I'm not making any huge mistakes about my
Yeah.
online presence. Because I try to bring as much of myself as I can to the world, and I've gotten better at doing that a little bit more recently, in recent years, especially since we started our own business. And I don't have to worry so much about being, PC or brand safe or buttoned up or whatever verbiage you want to use for not bringing my full personality to things. I've opened up a lot more. I hope people can see that. And I want to do more of that with my own channels. But yeah, it's cool to hear that the bit that I have shared about my life and myself is vibing with who I feel like I really am.
Yeah, that's good. I think before we wrap it up here, I think it is important to talk about your work, talk about things that you achieved or things that you've done. Celebrate. You are your biggest cheerleader. You need to
Yes.
mention this to the public because that is what's going to help you to get connected, or maybe somebody will discover you because of your work. You get what I'm saying? So I've been always talking about the things I've been doing or things that I've done in the past, and I always bring it up and post it on social media everywhere: LinkedIn, Twitter/X,
You're really
Facebook,
good at
everywhere.
that.
And yeah, and that also helped me to get all kinds of different opportunities because of it, you know. So this tool, I think, is also going to help you to do your research. It will help you do the research of like the stuff that you worked on, website, docs, PDF, whatever it is, and it's going to help you to do a better job on whatever it is that you're trying to get the word out about your work, or maybe trying to get a job or something. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really cool tool. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it. For those who are listening or watching, make sure to go through Google and look up Google Notebook LM.
And we're not sponsored or anything.
No, it's
So,
not
like,
sponsored.
if you,
Not sponsored.
yeah,
At all.
if you're
Yeah.
thinking that we're being biased or anything, like we're not. Like they
No.
never contacted us. We just tried this one day.
Yeah.
But also, I would encourage anybody who is using this, only use things that you're comfortable with being shared publicly. Things that are already shared publicly, because
Mm-hmm.
you never know when you give permissions to an AI how far it could go. So just
Yep.
be cautious about that.
100%. 100%. All right, everyone, thank you for listening to the Danny Ariana show. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, press the like button, maybe also the notification bell in case we have another brand new content. And this will be an opportunity for you to check it out every time there's like a new video, a new podcast, you know. So, but if
Yeah.
you're also listening to the audio version, make sure to subscribe, spread the word. We're everywhere in all podcast services: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every other podcast app that's out there.
And to address maybe an elephant in the room for folks who are like hyper aware, we do miss some weeks sometimes. We have a baby, we have a business, we have lives. I know everybody is busy, and we love to give you this content so that you can have something fun to brighten up the middle of your week every time we release something. But there are going to be some times when we're down. We'll try our best to communicate it. Usually I put a post up on our YouTube channel when we're going to have to skip a week, and the holidays are coming up. We'll do our best to get things up, but we may miss a few here and there. So just hang tight. Don't drop your subscription. We're going to keep uploading content. There is no plan for us to end this show anytime soon. So please just be patient with us as we figure out our schedules.
Yeah, and everyone, thank you so much for watching last week's episode where we talked about the behind the scenes flying a jet. If you haven't
2 weeks
watched
ago.
it,
So we
2 weeks
missed
ago,
last
sorry,
week.
2
Yeah.
weeks ago. Make sure to check it out. That's one of my favorite videos that we've done, because we broke it down how was the experience of flying a jet, and it's been doing pretty good numbers. I was not expecting. I was like, let's see what happens. But people have been liking that content, so thank you so much, everyone, for
Yeah.
watching the video.
And for those who didn't catch it, yes, flying a jet, yes, we took the controls and moved the plane around in the air. We actually flew an airplane. So, yeah, you should go take a look at that. And also, if you're curious about why we were there, shout out to Team Xbox and Microsoft for making that possible.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Until next time, we're out. Take care. Bye.